getting here was easier, if you felt safer getting to and from it.
What if one sentence could derail your career? What if, with one careless moment on camera, everything you've worked for is suddenly on the line? That's exactly what happened to a rookie NASCAR driver who made a comment so controversial, it didn't just earn him a fine, it sparked a global conversation. It all started with a live stream. Days before NASCAR's highly anticipated Viva Mexico 250, its first points race outside the United States since 1958, Hocevar hopped on Twitch to chat with fans, but instead of hyping up the historic event, he let his unfiltered thoughts fly. Complaining about the venue, he bluntly said, "If the travel was better, if it wasn't such a shithole, if the track limits were a little better enforced." In a moment meant to be casual, Hocevar dismissed an entire city with one vulgar insult.
Such a shithole. If the track limits were a little better enforced, if it was going to be a little bit better of a race, and it wasn't so easy to, or feel so locked down like you can't leave anywhere.
The clip spread fast. Social media lit up with criticism. Mexican fans, racing enthusiasts, and even international viewers were appalled. This wasn't just an offhand remark. It was a slap in the face to a passionate racing community and a city that had welcomed NASCAR with open arms. And just like that, Hocevar wasn't just a rookie anymore. He was the center of a controversy. To understand the impact, you have to look at the setting. The Viva Mexico 250 wasn't just another stop on the NASCAR calendar. Held at the legendary Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez, this was a bold step in NASCAR's push to expand globally. Mexico City, with its rich motorsport culture and a massive, passionate fan base, was chosen as the stage for this historic moment. For NASCAR, it was a chance to show respect, growth, and cultural inclusivity. For Hocevar, unfortunately, it was a chance blown. The backlash was swift and unforgiving. These actions are consistent with Spire Motorsports' core value of respect, which is something we proudly display on every race car, team uniform, trackside hauler, and digital channel, the team's statement said. Hocevar was slapped with a $50,000 fine, not from NASCAR, but from his own team. The fine wasn't just symbolic. Every penny was directed toward meaningful causes. The Mexican Red Cross, United Way Mexico, and Un Kilo de Ayuda, a charity fighting child malnutrition. Along with the financial penalty, Hocevar was also required to undergo cultural sensitivity and bias awareness training. This wasn't about saving face. Spire made it clear. They weren't going to tolerate ignorance or disrespect even from their own driver. The team's swift action sent a loud message. In today's NASCAR, cultural awareness is just as important as speed. But what about Carson himself? His response was just as important. Initially, Hocevar offered what many saw as a half-hearted apology. He admitted to being embarrassed and said his opinion was based on what he'd heard rather than what he had experienced. He claimed he had never been to Mexico City and was only repeating things he'd seen online or heard from others. The backlash, however, didn't let up. Then came a more emotional, more reflective statement. Hocevar posted a longer apology where he took full responsibility for his actions. He emphasized that he had now seen the city, met the fans, and realized how wrong his assumptions were. He praised the passion of Mexican NASCAR fans and called the experience a wake-up call. "It's my job to be better," he wrote, "not just as a driver but as a human being. Maybe a kid that had never been out of the country until Thursday should ever give an opinion about what any place is like other than Portage, Michigan." Hocevar wrote on X, referring to his hometown. Source. Hocevar also pledged to become an ally, to amplify underrepresented voices, and to never again let ignorance guide his words. Whether this was damage control or a genuine moment of growth is still debated. But it was clear. Hocevar had been humbled. Still, words alone don't erase controversy. Fans were split. Some appreciated the apology and saw it as an honest mistake from a young driver. Others weren't so quick to forgive, calling it a PR move and questioning how sincere his remorse really was. In the eyes of many, the damage was already done, and while Hocevar might have been dealing with the fallout off the track, things weren't going any better on it. In the Viva México 250, Hocevar finished a dismal 34th out of 37 drivers. It was one of his worst performances of the season. Whether it was pressure from the controversy, a tough track, or simply a bad day, the result added insult to injury. Hocevar remains 20th in the Cup Series standings, decent for a rookie, but still searching for his first win. And as his reputation took a hit, so did his image in the broader racing world. This controversy also shines a light on NASCAR's broader struggle to grow internationally while managing the culture within. As the sport continues its push into new markets, Mexico, Europe, and beyond, it faces a balancing act. Expanding the fan base means embracing new cultures, new traditions, and showing respect at every turn. And when one of its drivers fumbles that opportunity, it reflects poorly on the entire organization. That's what made this moment so explosive. It wasn't just about one driver's bad take, it was about whether NASCAR could walk the walk when it comes to global respect and inclusion. Some might argue that Hocevar was just being honest, that he said what others were thinking but afraid to say. But that argument doesn't hold up in a sport trying to modernize and expand. Honesty without empathy is just ignorance. And ignorance, when broadcast to millions, becomes a liability. In the end, this wasn't just a teachable moment for Hocevar, it was a mirror held up to NASCAR. Can the sport truly go global if it doesn't ensure its stars are ready to represent it on a global stage? Can NASCAR drivers be ambassadors, not just racers? And when the spotlight is on, can they carry the weight of an entire sport's reputation? Carson Hocevar has a long career ahead of him. This controversy may fade with time, but its impact will linger. For better or worse, he'll always be linked to that one moment in Mexico City, and whether he rises from it stronger or stays stuck in the shadow of that comment depends on what he does next. For now, the world is watching. If you think Hocevar has learned his lesson, or if you think this is just another PR spin, drop your thoughts in the comments. And for more untold stories behind the race, make sure you hit subscribe. The track isn't the only place where drama unfolds. Want more breakdowns like this? Smash that like button, share with your racing crew, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a moment in motorsports. Whether it's shocking moments, redemption arcs, or high-speed rivalries, we've got the inside track.